For those of you who went to warm places, that you're bringing back that warmth and sunshine back to all of us. But when we look out and you can see that the beautiful sunshine is, if you want, you can take a look out the window right now and take a look. The beautiful sunshine is on that beautiful snow. And underneath that snow, there is the promise of springtime, always there. It's a reminder for us to always have hope in our hearts that spring will come, that warmth will return, and that is the way it should always be for each and every one of us. We're going to begin our service because we are so delighted to be together. We're going to begin our service with Hine Matov, how good and how pleasant it is when brothers and sisters can dwell together in peace.
1, 2, 3. Hine Matov. Umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov. Umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad.
Oh, it's so nice to see all of your faces. And, well, as Rabbi Noah said, half of them. So we will go ahead and do a big stretch this morning. Ooh, get out some of those tired feelings and stand up out of your chair so that we can stand for the Baruch Hu, our call to worship.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Okay, one more big stretch. Raise your arms way up tall, way up high, and bring them down over your eyes for the Shema, saying that God is one.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
You may be seated. Miss Wendy, do you know of a hafta?
I do. Let's sing it all together, everybody.
On page 3.
You shall love the Lord your God with all your soul and with all of your might. Hold on tight as you go teach them what you know. Teach them as they grow. Teach them so they know. Teach them so they know.
And we'll continue with Micha Mocha, our prayer, thanking God for all the freedom that we have, just as we got to the other side of the sea out of slavery in Egypt. I want you to think to yourselves about a moment where you have felt really free, maybe over the last few weeks.
Rabbi, I think we get Micha Mocha this week in the Torah, don't we?
We do.
We do. And it sounds a bit different than what we usually do. So repeat after me. Micha Mocha.
Micha Mocha.
Ba'elim Adonai. Ba'elim Adonai. Mika Mocha.
Micha Mocha.
Mika Mocha Nedar Bakodesh. Mika Mocha Nedar Bakodesh. No ra tehilot. No ra tehilot. O Seifele. O Seifele. Micha Mocha Ba'elim Adonai. Mika Mocha Nedar Bakodesh. No ra tehilot. O Seifele.
Wonderful. And we will stand up nice and proud and tall for the center of our worship this morning for the tefillah on page 4.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov. Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah.
We'll take a moment now for silent prayer. You may take a seat and think to yourself all the words that are in your heart right now.
Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen. Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen. Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu,
could always use some more peace in our world. And right now, we are thinking of those in our community who could use a little bit of extra healing for their bodies, their minds, their souls. So if there's anyone that you're thinking of who could use an extra prayer for them, feel free to go ahead and share their names as my eyes meet yours or out loud in your classrooms this morning. We'll continue with Misha Barach on page 5.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mikor HaBracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe Berach Imotenu Mikor HaBracha La'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us all say, Amen.
Well, Boker Tov, everyone. I want to tell you a story about an old lady who lived in a house. And every time somebody would visit this old lady in this house, she would show one of her most prized possessions. And it was a single gold earring. And she would have this gold earring, and if you asked her about it, she would say, well, the earrings that actually belong to my family go way back thousands of years. They go back even to the time of the Exodus, where my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother, Shira, as a young girl, was a slave. And she worked terribly hard under what we call the yoke of the Egyptians. The Egyptians had all of these slaves that were our people, the Hebrew people. And Shira's mother used to work in the house of a very upper crust lady in the Egyptian society, and that was her job, was to serve this woman. Shira's mother served this woman, and Shira's father worked terribly hard building houses and building these huge monuments with stones that he would carry on his back. And slavery was terrible, and they suffered greatly. No one believed that they would be able to see freedom. Well, one day, there was a whisper in the town of a man named Moses who came, and there were these extraordinary miracles that were happening all around them, the plagues that struck Egypt, and they were scared of what was going to happen, and they were scared as they were looking out and seeing these things occur all around them in society. But soon, the plagues came to an end, and with hope springing forth in society, the Hebrews knew that they were going to be able to leave. Well, one day, really in the dawn of the morning light, the lady who the Shira's mother served came and knocked on her door. And she came and she brought in her hands beautiful earrings. And she says, I am so sorry for having treated you so poorly. I always noticed you looking at my earrings. I want you to have them. Now, Shira's mother was thinking, I don't want to take these earrings. There's no way that she could repay us for all of the difficulties and the slavery of the past. How could she repay us with earrings? But she continued, the lady continued and said, "These earrings I know that you have always looked at. Don't think of them as payment. Think of them as a gift, because I am so sorry for how we treated you. I now realize that there is only one God and that Pharaoh is just a man who's pretending to be God. And I want you to have these earrings." Shira's mother took the earrings in her hands, knowing that it was a gift that was freely given and given for the right reasons. Well, many days later, when they were wandering in the wilderness, the family held on to these earrings. And when Moses was walking up on Mount Sinai and accepting the 10 Commandments, he was there for a very long time. And the people grew frightened. They thought, what happened to Moses? Maybe something happened to him. Perhaps we should create an idol. And Aaron, Moses' brother, was tasked against his will to create that idol. And people were collecting all kinds of gold to create this golden calf. And they came to Shira's mother, and she refused, and she said, "There's only one God," and she held on to those earrings. Generation after generation, 100 years later, when Shira passed those earrings on to her grandchildren, the people were taken into exile, into Babylon, and they held on to these earrings nonetheless, even when the temple was destroyed and it was passed from generation to generation to generation. And so, up until just recently, within her small shtetl town, they always held on to those earrings. Now, do you want to know why there is only one earring instead of two?
Yes.
They always used these earrings to tell the story of their past, to tell the stories of their ancestors, of their great-great-great-grandparents, of what they went through. It was a precious item to them. But when in their small town they needed a Torah scroll, they needed the scroll of Torah, like what we hold in our ark. And in the town they said, we need to have a Torah scroll and we need to find a way to pay for it. It was then and only then that their family got together and said, let us give one of our gold earrings. Because we've used this earring to tell the story of our family's history for generations, let us now use it in order to create the Torah, which also tells the story of our ancestors and the generations. You know, there are things in life that are truly precious, things that we hold on to, family heirlooms that we think are so important, that tell our stories. And the Torah is our family's heirloom too. It is something that is truly important. It allows us to recall the story of the Exodus, to plan for a future that's filled with hope and filled with goodness and kindness. There are many things that are precious in this world. Some of them are gold and some of them are diamonds. But what is truly precious are the values that we hold dear and the stories that we continue to tell. Well, Boker Tov, everyone. As a reminder, remember, there are things that are important, but our stories are truly shimmer like gold. So I'm going to invite anybody that has had a birthday in the past. Yes, Cantor. Am I missing something? I'm going to invite you to stand in your place if you've had a birthday. We're not going to go up to the ark today because we don't want everybody standing right together and clumping together at the ark. But if you've had a birthday, we invite you to stand up. Can you stand up if you've had a birthday in the last couple of weeks? And oh, the beginning of the school year. Very good. Well, we celebrate all kinds of birthdays. We celebrate all kinds of things. So we're going to invite you to stand up, and then we're going to invite everyone to stand up and join them as we open up our ark doors.
I love our ark. I love our ark. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'teit gedula le'yotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu koreim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech malchei hamelachim, hakadosh baruch hu, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד.
And we will stay standing. We are thinking of those in our community who are no longer with us physically. And even though they aren't with us physically, we are thinking of them as their presence guides us each and every day, and the memories that we share with them are ever present. And at this time, our Congregation Shalom community remembers during the period of Shiva, Eileen Gossman, Ruth Silberman, Bertie Hamilton, Joseph Onsfield, and Rabbi Jay Brickman. And during the period of Shloshim, Linda Goldstein, Gary Isaacson, Maxine Orenstein, Debbie Pozlowski, Pamela Lynn Reese, and Sandra Winnick. If there are those that you're thinking of that you'd like to share with our community, please feel free to do so as my eyes meet yours, or say them out loud in your classrooms. And we will turn to the words of Mourner's Kaddish on page 7. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shumei rabbah, Belma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shmei rabba mevorach le'olam u'almei almaya, yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit romam v'yit naseh, v'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal, shemei dekudesha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran belma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, Hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing, and together we say, amen. And Miss Wendy, do you have a closing song for us today?
Well, I'm going to do a combination of Tu B'Shvat and passing down the Torah. I'm climbing up the tree of life, dancing on the branches, swinging on the vines. Look at me, hey, ain't I a sight? I'm climbing up the tree of life. I know I'm gonna make some mistakes. Lessons learned means sometimes a branch has to break. But this tree will stand forever, growing stronger every day. As we study Torah together, let each one of us say, I'm climbing up the tree of life, dancing on the branches, swinging on the vines. Look at me, hey, ain't I a sight? I'm climbing up the tree of life. Yes, I'm climbing up the tree of life. You'll find me climbing up the tree of life.
Boker Tov.
Boker
Do we
Or.
have any announcements?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Just stay safe and enjoy being together.
Amen. But I'm really feeling great. How's everybody with everybody, my love. Thank you.